97.3 Est-Ouest 91.7.
Rm1, it's 1:09. The news with Eris Stewart. Good morning, Eris.
Good morning, Sophie.
We start with the headlines.
President Donald Trump reaches out to Prime Minister Dr. Rm1 to discuss customs tariffs, signaling a possible restart of trade negotiations. Prime Minister announces the expansion of the high-level steering committee to act as a direct interface with the business community. Mauritian giants ENL and Rogers merge to form the ER Group, a move set to reshape the national and regional economic landscape. New cancer equipment unveiled at National Centre to improve diagnosis and treatment. 2 new Mauritian first officers join Air Mauritius after a rigorous international recruitment process. In world news, tensions rise in EU-China trade relations, fueling a worsening trade imbalance between Brussels and Beijing. And in sports, 165 young Mauritian athletes gear up for the regional games in Seychelles. Trade diplomacy is back in the spotlight. The United States is taking a renewed interest in its economic ties with Mauritius, this time over the issue of customs tariffs. US President Donald Trump has officially reached out to Mauritian Prime Minister Dr. Rm1 through a formal letter proposing discussions on the matter. It's a development that could signal the start of new negotiations between the two countries. Dr. Rm1 revealed the news last night during the launch event of the ER Group at Vivia Business Park, noting that the path to talks is now open.
Countries everywhere are resetting the strategic objectives, recalibrating the policies. We're looking at tariffs, as you know. The US government is imposing tariffs. We have to be able to adapt and see what can be done. I can tell you President Trump just sent me a letter a few days ago saying that he's willing to, we will be speaking. We have started negotiations. Government is charting a transformative path for our economy and society.
And staying on the PM, the Prime Minister is counting on enhanced dialogue between the public and private sectors. At the same ceremony, Dr. Rm1 announced the expansion of the mandate of the High-Level Steering Committee, chaired by Deputy Finance Minister Daneshwar Damri. This committee, he said, will now become a direct interface between the private sector and his office. The head of government plans to participate in certain meetings himself.
I've also set up a high-level steering committee, which will be chaired by the junior minister who is here for finance, for the implementation of the government program. And I'm also pleased to say that I'm broadening the mandate of the steering committee so that it can be an interface between the private sector and my office. And I intend to chair some of those meetings.
A new page in Mauritian economic history is being written, with ENL and Rogers now as one. The group, renamed ER, was officially launched yesterday at Vivia Business Park in the presence of the Prime Minister. The strategic merger promises to be beneficial for the national and regional economy. And in other news, 3 new pieces of equipment were inaugurated yesterday at the National Cancer Centre to improve the diagnosis and treatment of different types of cancer. This is another step forward in the fight against the disease in Mauritius, while internationally, a promising breakthrough has been announced in the fight against triple-negative breast cancer. Australian researchers at the Harry Perkins Institute of Medical Research have shown that bee venom, specifically melittin, can destroy cancer cells while sparing healthy cells. Their work, published in the journal Nature Precision Oncology and reported by the Technology Network's website, paves the way for new treatments. Anjali Siratan-Pulchan gives us more details.
A study conducted by researchers at the Harry Perkins Institute of Medical Research in Australia has revealed that bee venom, and particularly melatonin, shows significant potential against triple-negative breast cancer. Published in the journal Nature Precision Oncology and reported by Technology Networks, this research shows that melatonin can destroy cancer cells in less than an hour while leaving healthy cells unharmed. This type of breast cancer is especially difficult to treat as it does not respond to standard hormone therapies, but melatonin may offer a solution. The researchers observed that melatonin attacks the membranes of tumor cells and triggers their self-destruction. They also found that when combined with an existing chemotherapy drug, the molecule enhances therapeutic effects, especially in mouse models. Although these results still need to be confirmed in humans, this research opens promising avenues for the development of new treatments based on natural compounds derived from bee venom.
And finally, they dreamed of blue skies and taking the controls of an aircraft. Today, Jyotsna Ramshir-Kantia and Pradyum Budoni are among the first new recruits at Air Mauritius, serving as first officers on the ATR-72. Out of 73 candidates, only 12 were selected through a rigorous recruitment process led by the German firm Interpersonal GmbH, a specialist in aviation hiring. Speaking to Anjali Siratan-Pulchan, they reflect on their journey and ambitions.
Salam Sejahtera, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, welcome on board a Malaysia Airlines flight.
Joining the world of aviation takes discipline, determination and resilience. At 31, Jyotsna Ramshir-Kantia from Pamplemousses has reached a major milestone in her career. And while the cockpit remains a predominantly male environment, she says she was treated no differently than the other candidates.
Maintenant, dans le monde actuel, c'est plus ouvert pour les femmes.
Nowadays, the world is more open for women. It used to be difficult before, but now it's easier. Many girls are choosing this profession. There is space for women. We can say that girls and boys are equal, so we can push forward and succeed in this career.
Standing beside her is Pradyum Budoni, 25, from Tamarin, who shares the same drive. For him, becoming a pilot is the fulfillment of a childhood dream.
Mon parcours a commencé depuis très jeune. J'ai toujours voulu devenir un pilote.
My journey started from a very young age. I always wanted to become a pilot. It was a childhood dream. From there, even during secondary school, I focused on the subjects needed for a pilot career, especially mathematics and physics. After my higher school certificate, I did an internship at Air Mauritius, and shortly after, I started my training, just 1 year after completing my HSC, to become a pilot.
Un an après la HSI pour devenir pilote de ligne.
For Jyotsna and Pradyum, this is just the beginning. Their focus is now on upcoming flights and the responsibilities that come with them, with the humility and already the pride of having found their place in the sky.
And you're listening to Rm1. It's 9:09 and we move now on to international news. Since the end of 2024, the European Union has imposed tariffs of up to 45% on Chinese electric vehicles, prompting opposition from Beijing. Restrictions on Chinese access to European energy projects and Chinese limitations on rare earths are heightening tensions. 2 Chinese banks have been sanctioned for alleged links to Russia. The trade imbalance is worsening, with Chinese exports rising and EU exports stagnating. Lack of trust is also complicating efforts to reduce tensions, particularly in the automotive and pharmaceutical sectors. And finally, in sports, Team Mauritius is gearing up for the CJSOI Games, set to begin next week in the Seychelles. Yesterday, the 165 selected athletes gathered at Côte d'Or for a pre-departure meetup, where they received their official uniforms and equipment. At just 16, hurdler Hazel Sidhu will carry the Mauritian flag during the opening ceremony. Tia Burton and Jean-Dany Avrilo-Désiré have been also named as captains of the women's and men's teams respectively. Youth and Sports Minister Devin Nagalingam encouraged the athletes to give their best and make the country proud. The delegation departs next week with the men's football matches kicking off on Thursday. That's all from me this morning. Thanks so much for tuning in. Stay tuned now to the Intermediate playlist until 10 a.m.